Hello, and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. So today I will be reviewing The Never Ever Met, Season 1, Episode 9, The End of the Beginning. Now let's get into it. So the first scene picked back up with the therapy session with Jody and Aaron, where the therapist had just asked Aaron to give him and Jody a moment alone so that she could talk to her one on one. So she did this so that she could ask Jody, did she think that this relationship was worth pursuing? And Jody never quite answered the question. She said that she does think that the relationship is worth pursuing. She admitted that she knows that she is a very complex person, and Aaron accepts her with all of her complexities. So then the therapist turned right back around and asked her um, if did she think that, you know, yes, sir. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second here. So the therapist wanted to know if she accepts Aaron. So she didn't give a straightforward answer. She went into if this happens, if that happens, blah, blah, blah. So the therapist basically told her that she is preparing for the relationship to fail, which sounds like a trauma based decision. So Jody told her that she told Jody that she deserves to be loved and to experience true love. And we seen real tears coming from Erin for the very first time. Real tears, emotions, something we've never seen before coming from Erin. She always has a very harsh exterior and she barely shows her emotions. So the therapist was able to crack Jody's harsh exterior and get her to express her true feelings. Okay. So finally, we're making a little bit of progress with Jody, and I'm very happy to see it because I have not really felt Jody the entire time since I've been watching the show. Hey, Braden Lee, I'll drop that link if you want to come up. So we did see Jody get emotional, and that was actually good to see. And the therapist did end that session, giving Jody a hug, which Jody is not really used to a lot of affection. So, she's just trying to take all this stuff in because this whole experience is very new to her. And she did say that she's learned a lot since being on the show about herself. And she does know that there are some things that she really does need to work on. Okay. So in the next scene, Taronda did her couple check in with Josh and Shay, and there's really nothing to see there with Josh and Shay. I mean, their relationship is going really smoothly. It was great for her to check in, but everything's pretty much all good, with them. She did ask them, she did tell them not to go to the boom boom room. And they said, no, we're not going. It's not our time. So obviously, some of the other couples have started using the boom boom room, you know. So Josh and Shay, they can't take that space every night. So the next scene goes into Sandia and Chris going on their very last date. And they both seem to be very excited about the date. I think they're in a very comfortable place with each other. So they were both excited. They was holding hands, during the car ride and just looking forward to, this last date that they would have together and this alone time and quality time. So Chris had planned for them to go horseback riding, and he prepared a romantic picnic dinner in the middle of a very rustic scene with a very amazing view. So Chris asked Sandia, was she leaving the show with him or was she leaving by herself? So Chris was very intentional, about this date and what he wanted to accomplish. And that was basically establishing the status of their relationship. So Sandia is open, to whatever Chris has to offer with her as far as a relationship is concerned. And keep in mind, Chris and Sandia had only been dating for 3 months before they came on the show. So it was already a very new relationship for them, in their first time meeting. So, they didn't have a lot of past, experience with each other, just the 3 months. So he also asked her if their relationship was something that she could see long term. And again, she's open to seeing where the relationship can go. They talked about future plans, like her getting back to work. Chris asked her if she wanted to have kids, and she said, of course, she did want to have kids, and Chris said that he can see them building an amazing love story together. And y'all already know how I feel about Chris. Um, I still feel the same way about Chris. He gives me all kinds of red flags, and I just don't trust him. Sandia definitely need to proceed with caution. I do believe that they are going to leave the show together, even though the previews kind of gave me second thoughts, but we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But I do feel like they are going to enter into a relationship, and, once Chris gets comfortable, I just feel like he's going to end up truly showing her who he really is. And at some point, he's going to get bored and he's going to cheat. I've said it before. And she's going to actually stay with him and just let him cheat in peace. That's just how I feel, because for me, Chris really showed who he was the very first day he got there. He was talking about how he's dating all of these girls and things like that. And she was actually sitting right there. So she knows what she's getting. So if she decides to, enter into a relationship with Chris, then it is what it is. Like, she knows exactly what she's getting. So the next scene was Aaron H. and Diamond. They had their first meeting with the therapist, which was basically a recap of all of the drama that had taken place in the house, as well as Diamond's sister's visit that went left really quickly. So they kind of touched up on that. And Aaron said that, because of all the drama that took place in the house, it actually made him and Diamond closer. So they kind of shut everybody out and just kind of started doing their own thing in the house. And that was pretty much their stance, after all the drama. And the next scene was Josh and Shay. They were headed to on their last date and they were actually going to get matching tattoos. Josh was excited and nervous all at the same time. He's never experienced anything like this before. And the tattoos that they decided to get was a yin and yang and a Luna soul, which symbolizes that she is more of an outgoing person and he is more laid back. So that creates balance in their relationship because opposites attract. So the tattoo that they did get, that was what it symbolized. So that all went well. um their last and final date. They were very excited about the fact that they had matching tattoos and something to remind them of each other for the rest of their lives as they build their new life together. So, in the next scene, Greg and Millie went on a romantic dinner date to celebrate Greg's birthday. And while the other couples were back at the house decorating for Greg's surprise birthday party, and they were all in. Like, Millie gave them, I guess instructions on what to do, and they did their thing. And everybody pretty much participated except for Aaron and Diamond. They were, playing pool, just keeping to themselves like they have been ever since all the drama went down. So everybody else participated and they got prepared for Millie and Greg's return. So once they got back to the house, everybody yelled, "Surprise!" And, you know, Greg was really surprised. He said it felt like family. And although they go through their things in the house, you know, they have really grown to really love each other and they formed a really nice bond with all of the other couples in the house. So let me tell you, this party, I mean, this was the most fun I've seen them have since they've been in the house. They really let their hair down. They played games, they danced, they did a lot of shots and drank a lot of alcohol. I mean, the party was lit, and I'm pretty sure the party went on to the wee hours of the night, and the party was an overall success. They were laughing and just having a really good time. Um, Aaron J ended up losing a game, so he had to run through the house butt naked, and he really enjoyed that. Like he really felt like he can open up, while Jody is over here, kind of keeping them in this shell, that night, I guess, because he knows that, everything is fixing to be over. They only have a few days left in the house. So I think he just kind of decided to just let his hair down and just have some fun. So that's what they did. And one of the other things that happened was for some odd reason, I don't know if this is his fantasy or whatever the case may be, but Chris asked Jody to kiss Sandia. So he asked them to kiss, and to my surprise, Sandia went along with it. And, she made it clear, okay, this is a one and done. Like, I'm not doing this again. I don't know why he wants this. Girl, he was letting you know that at some point in your relationship, he might ask you for a threesome. Honey, pay attention to the red flags. I mean, just out the blue, your man asked you, hey, kicking it with Courtney, to kiss the girl that everybody has been accusing, you and her of having a thing for each other, and you decide that you want to ask them to have a kiss. Okay. So we'll see how all that plays out. But yeah, I was very surprised that Sandia went along with that. But Sandia looks like she's pretty much down with whatever her man is down with. So if that's what her man wants, I guess that's what she's going to be into. Okay. But they played this game where some of the couples actually gave, their mate a lap dance. And this was another time when Aaron really let his hair down and he gave Jody a lap dance. And I don't know if that lap dance went in his favor because Jody did say that she finally realized that she needed to have a conversation with Aaron. And she also said that, when you play games like this, before you actually entered into, a romantic or a sexual situation, sometimes it makes you think twice about it. So I guess she wasn't really feeling, Aaron's moves when he was giving her that lap dance. So maybe it made her look at him, in a different light. So in the next scene, Shay's sister Ashley arrived, and Ashley, she was very pleasant and seemed very supportive of Shay. And when she met Josh, she asked him, "Why do you think you're in love with Shay?" And I'm just going to go ahead and just read to you what Josh said because I thought he answered that question so well. Josh said that him and Shay have a bond that no one can break. They can talk about everything. And Shay knows everything about him, and he knows damn near everything about Shay. He can tell her anything, and she's not going to judge him or knock him for it. He says he's never been in that type of relationship with anyone, so for him, it's an easy decision. And Shay is the first person he's ever been in love with. And, I guess, I mean, he does have two kids, but I guess, you know, things happen and he was never in love with the baby mamas of his two kids. Okay. And Josh also said that he hasn't stopped smiling since he's been in that MFR. So pretty much he hasn't stopped smiling since he's been in the house. So then Josh's good friend Warren showed up. And Warren is the type of friend that will always tell him the truth. And if he's wrong, he'll let him know. So you need those type of people in your life. So I'm glad that he has a good friend in Warren that will not just tell you what you want to hear, but will instead tell you the truth. So Shay and Josh both were able to get their blessings from her sister and his good friend Warren. So they talked about the fact that Josh and Shay will be moving to Texas. Josh is going to go there first and, kind of check things out. Then ultimately, they're going to both move there together to start their life. They'll make new friends together, make some memories, and also ultimately settle down in Texas. So they are definitely moving full speed ahead in their relationship. Now, the next scene was Aaron and Diamond. They went on their last date, which they happened to go to a winery where he had set up a nice, beautiful picnic for Diamond, and she has no idea what he has planned for her. So Diamond had kind of been stressed out about all of the drama that was going on in the house. So Diamond was definitely ready to get her drink on at the winery. So, I mean, it was really funny how she just kept asking for more wine because she was just like, oh my gosh, I have been so stressed out in that house. I guess because everybody kind of like shunned them because they were just sticking their nose where it didn't belong, which was in everybody's business. Okay. So Aaron was kind of quiet, on the ride up to the date. And I think it was because he was really, really nervous about what was getting ready to take place. Okay. And Diamond, of course, had no clue what he had in store for her. So, however, he pressed on and he asked Diamond to marry him. Now, I thought he would have had something prepared, some nice words, but the only thing he pretty much said was, that he can't imagine spending a day without her. No, I loves you. I love yous. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, whatever. He did not have a planned speech. Maybe he thought he could wing it, whatever the case may be. But I think his nerves got the best of him. So after he asked Diamond to marry him, first, she was just like shocked. The shock turned into like tears, and she never really answered the question. So I'm sure we'll get our answer from Diamond next week because that is how the show went off, with him just sitting there while Diamond got emotional, started crying, or whatever the case may be. Why think that she might say no? I don't know this for a fact, but I just feel like that being in the house with Aaron, I think maybe she's seen some things she did not quite like. And I just feel like Aaron is more into Diamond than she is with him. I think Diamond loves the idea of being asked, to get married or whatever the case may be. But I just don't think that she's that into Aaron. So we'll just have to see. I could be completely wrong. That's just my opinion. But I don't think she's as into Aaron as he is into her. So everything that they do is very surface level, not that deep, and she did see him have an outburst. So maybe she'll just tell him that she wants to date a little bit and maybe take things slow because even though, they have been dating, I want to say for 5 years, they did have a break because Aaron did ask another woman to marry him, and he posted it on social media for the world to see. So I think this time around, she might want to take things a little slow this time and just, date him for a while before she jumps into marriage. Okay. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. And I did notice in this episode, since this is like, the last week, they only have a few days left, to be in the house, that all of the couples were kind of, trying to solidify their relationship status and where they would be moving forward, after, they leave the house. So they just kind of wanted to get an idea of what their, mate is feeling or whatever so that they can know how to move forward for the future. And for the most part, I think that everybody will be moving forward. I do have my doubts about Jody and Aaron J just because she did say that she needs to have a conversation with him. So I do believe that she maybe she'll just be honest with him and tell him what we're all thinking, that she's just not that into him. Hopefully she doesn't lead him on and make him think that there's actually more there than there actually is. And, she continues to say that she doesn't want to hurt him. And hopefully, she'll keep that same mindset and just be totally honest. I mean, because even if they became friends, I mean, a friendship could definitely turn into a relationship, you know. So, and if that did happen, I think that they would be okay because I think the more she's around Aaron, that she is starting to have some feelings for him. She's kind of the wild one, he's kind of the quiet one, but now that he has shown her that he can come out of his shell, maybe that's what she was looking for. Maybe she just didn't want to be tied down with a boring guy for the rest of her life. So he has been, coming out of his shell, and maybe that's what she wanted to see. So, when he ran through the house butt naked, maybe, that sparked something in her. And maybe she said, okay, well, maybe I can do this. He maybe just need a little tweaking or whatever the case may be. And, maybe we can work on some long-term goals together. So, yes, guys, that is how the episode ended. So we have one episode to go, and I have to say, I am going to miss this show. So I hope they bring it back really soon with some new couples because that's what I'm looking forward to. I think the show went over really well, for the first season. And I hope that they definitely bring some more couples back and, start a season two with some new couples. So, guys, let me know what you're thinking in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, let me know what you're thinking in the comments as well. And please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. And Braylon, I believe you are live as well right now. Thank you for stopping by. And guys, if you don't already, please follow Braylon's channel. He does have a Kicking YouTube channel that he's actually on live with right now, as well as Kicking It with Courtney. Courtney usually comes on at 10 o'clock a.m. Monday through Friday. So if you're looking for something to watch during that time frame, please check out Kicking It with Courtney's channel. She has some amazing topics. She does celebrity news and updates, and she also does reality show as well, and whatever she just wants to talk about. So make sure that you follow Kicking It with Courtney as well. And thanks again for watching, guys. Bye for now.